Hey everybody, welcome. This is IsaBetaBug, your host of the Bug Scope, and I am excited, here let's switch this around a bit, to bring to you today the debut, the premiere of Bug Appetit, a six-legged journey to dining on cicadas. So welcome, whether you're watching from YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or Twitter. Welcome everybody. All of your comments will be aggregated into Haps where I'm broadcasting from, although I do highly recommend that you join us over on haps.tv/IsaBetaBug for the full experience so you can see all the comments and all the popcorn that Frank has supplied in the comments. Thank you, Frank. Delicious. Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. Very excited to share with you Bug Appetit. This is a project that I've been working on all throughout the spring, throughout May, and then also for much of June. I was working on this with a videographer here in Ann Arbor. We teamed up and it was a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get him on the Bug Scope in the future, like perhaps he's away in Oregon right now on vacation. I'm hoping to bring him in for a Bug Scope to talk about the behind the scenes and the process of putting together this 5-minute film on dining on cicadas, the six-legged journey to dining on cicadas. To kind of lead up into this, I don't know. I was thinking of doing a little presentation first on like why to eat insects as a pre-program thing. It's going to be like 5 to 10 minute presentation. Hello, Steve. How's it going? It's like a 5 to 10 minute presentation that I did for Nerd Night in Philadelphia a while back on eating bugs. Because I know that there's many people out there who, when they think of eating an insect, they're like, ew, like, why would I do that? Although, as you will find out in this little presentation that I will share with you here, there's many reasons to try an insect. So to get us all calibrated, I'm going to share with you a little presentation on why eating bugs makes sense. And one reason, as David Yee is saying in the comments, is eat them first before they eat us. Yes, that's one reason. Hello, over in Philadelphia. Yeah, okay. Abel, hello. Okay, so let me get the presentation up. So after this, we will jump into the video at about probably like 5:50 is when the video will do the film. So one moment as I open up this presentation. I don't know if there's a way to open it directly into presentation mode, so I will do it this way. Sebastian, let me invite you in case you want to hop on. But I know that you're busy right now, so as you said, but just in case it makes sense, I will make it possible. All right. Okay, so first, once again, hello everyone, welcome. I'm going to do like a 5 to 10 minute presentation on why to eat bugs in the first place, why it makes sense. All right. It's a GIF. This is a GIF that we're seeing. That's why it's bouncing. Okay. All right. So oh wait, one moment. I need to figure out the whole two screen. Okay. Take this away for a moment. Actually, no, maybe I'll put this up on the corner here. All right, so why eat insects? Oops. Okay. All right, so I can't see your comments when I'm sharing this, so I will get to any comments you guys have on this at the end. So why eat bugs in the first place? A little prelude to watching the film tonight. An opening act, we'll say. So entomophagy is the eating of insects, and that's the special name for it. And there's a lot of things that eat insects in the world, from toads and flies and primates, all sorts of animals, even plants. Some of them eat insects. An insect is a Arthropod has an exoskeleton in the class Insecta. It has chitinous exoskeleton, 3 main body parts, 2 pairs of wings. It is an animal, like we are animals, like the meat that we eat, the animal meat that we eat these are also, if you eat an insect, you're eating animal meat. And it can be your dinner if you want it to be. So here's a photograph of some chapulines that I was eating at a restaurant in Philadelphia. I don't remember the name of the restaurant off the top of my head because this was a while ago. It was one of the few places that served insects on the menu at the time. I think things have expanded though since then. Very exciting. So in the world, there are billions of people who include insects as part of their diet regularly. That's close to 1/3 of the global population. And so it doesn't happen so much in the USA, but there has been some controversy with insect eating. For example, in the USA, in 2012, there was this big controversy that Starbucks had bugs in their food. And this is an example of how entomology is not like very widely accepted in some cultures, unfortunately. And they were just using this one insect as a food coloring agent to make red. And many of the much of the news coverage misreported this and called them beetles, but they're not actually beetles here that were coloring these Starbucks drinks. It was actually a cochineal scalebug, which is also called all these other names: red 4, carmine, cochineal extract, crimson lake, natural coloring, and more, which has been harvested for many, many years for the red dye. It's a great, really healthy, natural product. Some background noise. I guess someone joined the broadcast. Hello. And so why don't we eat bugs? What happened? Because it's been going for many years in many cultures. And you can point a little bit to the Bible, which tells us what you can do and what you can't do in many cases. And so, of course, that's a book that many people turn to for guidance. So if that says not to eat something, many people will follow those rules, follow those guidelines for life. And then also another reason that it could be is because the world is becoming more urbanized. There's a big movement of people moving from more rural areas to more urban areas, and you get more disconnected from insects in urban areas. You're in an urban jungle. There's less food for insects to eat, and therefore sometimes insects in the city. Less variety of insects and whatnot. And then also, perhaps when moving to foreign lands, people get disconnected from the land and you don't know what there is to eat because of that disconnection that can occur. And so you just resort to what you know is edible, or what you can take with you, the livestock you can take. So the cows, the pigs, the sheep that you can take with you, or the honeybees, for example. So then why should we eat bugs? And I have many different reasons. One is we like to eat pretty things, and insects can be very pretty. Look at these beautiful beetles. And many different species to choose from, over millions of species of insects. And you can make the dishes look gorgeous. Lots of opportunity here with the insect biodiversity. And then there's over 1,900 species of insects that are edible that you can eat. And that comes from the incredible diversity of insects. So once again, many choices. And then why eat bugs? Well, one silly reason you can say is because you can relate to your favorite animal this way, since many cool animals like monkeys and little beautiful jumping spiders eat insects. And then also another reason to eat bugs, another silly reason, is to get revenge from being bitten, being stung, being invaded, being crawled on by them. Better to eat them before they eat your strawberries, like this grasshopper in the upper corner. It's a very sustainable thing to do for multiple reasons. And one reason is insects have lots of babies and arthropods, and here's a scorpion too. Some people eat scorpions. So they very quickly can reproduce and recover from harvest. So lots and lots and lots and lots of insects. Then they also have quick life cycles, which means they can bounce back in population very quickly. And so that's very helpful. The silkworm is one insect that's commonly eaten and also used for both clothes and also for food as well. People eat the pupae of them. And then also it's good for environmental sustainability. They don't need expensive pastures and many can feed on compost. And then also they're very efficient. So they are ectothermic. They don't produce their own heat like mammals do, like pigs and cows and other mammals produce their own heat. They don't. So a lot more of the food goes right into making animal meat. So here's some comparisons, which you may have seen the other day. Chickens take 2 times the amount of feed. Pigs take 2 times the amount of feed that an insect would take. Sheep take 4 times the amount of food. Cattle take 12 times the amount of food to get the same amount of animal meat from an insect. So it's environmentally sustainable. So eat more bugs. Okay, and then also I'm going to skip through this a little bit to get to the video, the film, but there's a lot to look at with greenhouse emissions. And we know we're in an era of climate change. We have to be very mindful of our impact on the world. And so insects are a way to go to shift the pressures that are caused by the animal eating industry. So, all right, and then there's lots of nutrition to be found in insects. It varies from one to the next. And then some drawbacks are, some of them have really tough exoskeletons, which can be difficult with consumption and digestion, but you just eat the softer insects in that case. There's one specific case where some people ate lots of beetles and it made them constipated, but they were eating beetles that had really hard exoskeletons, so that's probably why. But there's a lot of research going into this now. And then also allergies can be an issue as well. I developed an allergy to crickets when I was working in a spider lab at Cornell University, where I was feeding hundreds of spiders, hundreds of crickets. And so I eventually developed an allergy where I got sniffly from holding the crickets. So many different reasons. Their biology is really fitting. They have nutritional value. They're sustainable, but then also they're tasty. And currently they're eaten around the world. Witchetty grubs are eaten in Australia. Cooked up, nice, delicious meal. In Italy, this might be less appealing to some people. There's the Italian maggot cheese, which is pretty fascinating, where they grow the maggots in the cheese and then they eat it, maggots and all. And then cicadas, which is what we're going to talk about today. And they have a surprisingly nutty, delicious flavor. But I also found, especially through this project, putting together this film that we're going to watch later today, that they taste a little bit different depending on how you prepare them. Here's another insect that can be eaten, the goldenrod maggot, which I did a broadcast on the Bug Scope a couple of months ago, calling them the nature's lollipop. But they can be eaten. I did not eat them on the broadcast, but maybe this fall we can do that or something like that. We'll see. Okay. Challenges are knowledge, legislation, pesticides, and then also insect rearing technology. There's not automation right now, at least in the USA, for making insects, for preparing insects for selling, which makes them expensive. That's changing. And then also much of the legislation is currently like what you can't have. Like you can't have 6 legs of insects in like 10 pounds of chocolate. Like there's a limitation for quality control, but that's also changing too, which is awesome. And then some of the challenges include mentality and disgust factor, which hopefully some of this information can help with that. And also, I've also put together some ideas of trying to make it more appealing. So if you're hungry, some marketing spins, you can try some Metapod munchies for those of you who enjoy, what's it called? Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon. And then also you can taste the rainbow with all the different colors of insects that you can find. So those are some ideas. And so if you have any questions, you can drop them here. And in a moment, we will start the viewing. So yeah. Oh, where's my screen? So yeah, thanks guys for coming along. I see that we have okay. Eliana has joined me. That was you typing along that I heard. Yes, you were not muted when you joined.
I don't know how to mute myself, but
you pressed.
that I'm so excited for the premiere of this event. I've seen little sneak previews along the way. I've heard about it in passing here and there, and I can't wait to see what's in store for us today.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for joining, Nani. Yeah, I think when you've called in May and June, I've been like, I'm in the field right now, looking for the cicadas, or running to and fro. When we were putting this together, Hans, the videographer, and I were like hoping to get this video out as soon as possible. Like as soon as the cicadas were out, we were like, we're gonna pump out this video and publish it so we can catch the wave of the Brood 10 periodical cicada craze. And that we were in completely the wrong geographical place for that to happen, because we're in the most northern location of where the cicadas are found. So we waited the longest. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, the cicadas are everywhere. But like we hadn't seen them yet because it's colder up north in Michigan. And so that hope of publishing this video while they were still out just was like, okay, we have to let that idea go. I hear that you're a little bit quiet. Oh yeah, our dresses do kind of match, Eliana. Yeah. Interesting. Coincidence. Twinning.
Not intentional. It's just those twinny vibes.
Not intentional. Yeah.
Is this better, David? Can you hear me better?
I can hear you better.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're sporting the black and white shirt.
Yes.
IsaBetaBug with the butterflies, of course.
Yes, that's right. Although I wish they were cicadas for today. Yeah. So, anything else I should share before we watch the video? I will share the link. It's going to go on YouTube as a standalone video scheduled for after this premiere. So I will share the link for that after this filming. And do you have any questions, Eliana, before we get started? As a viewer?
What was your favorite part of filming this?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the creative process and sharing ideas with Hans. It was my first time spending so much time on such a polished piece, because normally I do live things or I do live in-person programs, but I've never put together a film like this that's so polished. So it was really cool to I guess negotiate ideas and share ideas and brainstorm ideas with Hans. Like get the abstract ideas from your brain and verbalize it, and then that whole give and take and not knowing what it's going to look like in the end. So that was a lot of fun to do with Hans. And
awesome. Yeah. How many hours of filming do you think you did, and how long is this feature presentation?
Yeah, so the video is about just shy of 5 minutes, and I don't know how many hours of filming we did. It would have been fun to keep track of those statistics, but I know that we spent it was like a full-time job, or a 30 hours a week sort of, or even more than that sort of thing. We were going out late at night, staying out there till 1 or 2 in the morning, making sure we got the shots of the natural history. We wanted to make sure we included getting video of the cicadas climbing up trees and emerging from their holes in the ground. We wanted to make sure we captured that part of their life because it's just phenomenal, literally. It's a phenomena that the periodical cicadas emerge just once every 17 years. And this sort of event happens only in the eastern USA. Nowhere else in the world are there 17-year cicadas. So it's extremely special. Wow. Extremely special. And if people are like, oh, I have to also say this too. if people are like, oh, if it's so special, like, why are you eating them? And that's because like literally billions emerge from the ground. There's so many. And for me, at first I felt bad, like, oh, I can't eat them because I don't know. I do feel bad eating an animal. But then when you see how many there are, like it's the best way to celebrate their presence, because the reason why there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions is because the whole way that they live is that they satiate the predators. They completely fill up the bellies of the predators, and there's just too many to consume that you can't even make a dent in the populations. So
that's crazy.
So celebrate by eating one. Yep. I wrote a whole blog post on this too that I will share in the chat. So
please do.
Oh, another question from Sebastian. How long did it take to produce the movie? Yeah, it took us, I guess I'll say 2 months. It took us 2 months. And there are definitely a lot of trips to go check on the cicadas. And like they hadn't emerged yet. And we're like, oh, we have to go like in 2 days so we don't miss them. We were just so worried about missing them that we went a bunch of times and there was just no sign yet. And so it was one of those situations where there's a lot of patience involved, especially when you're working with animals. You really can't control an animal, and you can't. I'd never gone hunting for them before, so I didn't know exactly what to expect. So I certainly learned a lot about them and their natural history and their habits from this experience. So, hi, Molly.
And so for all of us who might end up watching it and will be drooling out of hunger for wanting to eat the shrimp of the land, can we still find them out in the world today, or are they gone?
Yeah, great question. They puttered out at the end of June. The last ones that I saw in Ann Arbor were at the very beginning of July. And now, if you're out during the daytime, you're able. I think I hear them right now, unless they're katydids. You're able to hear the cicadas up in the trees that are the annual cicadas, not the periodical cicadas. You can eat some of the annual cicadas too. Neotibicin is the genus name, the green ones. But it's just a lot harder to collect them since they're not out there in huge numbers. They're green, they blend in, unlike the I'll go back to the periodical cicada here. The periodical cicada doesn't even blend in. They stand out. Sorry, let me go. They stand out and they're edible. So, oh darn, I keep on clicking the wrong button. They stand out and they're edible.
So are you telling us that we're going to have to wait 17 years if we want to enjoy this delicacy? It's that rare?
Yeah, or you'll have to come raid my freezer because I have a bunch left over in the freezer that I have yet to cook. I'll put it on eBay to the highest bidder. No, there'll be other broods that emerge in the coming years. So this is brood 10. And there's other broods. If you go to cicadamania.com, you can find the other broods that are that emerge at other times of the year. There's our 7-year cicadas, there are 13-year cicadas, and then this rather extraordinary 17-year cicada. So, yeah, I had to remind the videographer that we had to like be really patient with. Because it's funny because I was going into the whole I'm responding right now to
Uh-oh. Did she cut out? Or did I do something?
Did I drop out for a moment?
You did drop out, I think.
Oh, I don't know. I think there must. Okay, some weird glitch.
Maybe someone in the audience can help provide some clarification on what occurred. You said dropped out. Okay, thanks, Ava.
Okay, I wonder if that was like.
And she's back. Maybe it's time to get this started. 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
right
6 o'clock. Here we are. I just wanted to finish my thought though. That was, that I like went into the cicada recordings out in the field, just ready to like sit there like all night at the base of the tree to like watch the cicadas to get the right ones. And like, because I know that it can take a long time. And also I love just sitting and watching one insect for like a long period of time and just seeing what it does. I don't know. It's kind of peaceful, or just, I don't know, a cool little escape. And Hans, the videographer, was like getting a little frustrated after like 2 takes of trying to record a cicada coming out of a hole. And I was like, oh, like I expected it would take like 3 hours to get this shot. And we had only spent like 20 minutes sitting there trying to get that shot. So it was just funny and a cool experience. And now it's 6 o'clock. So let's get the video going. I will open up the video.
Can't wait.
Yeah. And you guys will just have to also let me know if the audio sounds good on your side. I haven't shared a video this way before. So here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Thanks for joining, Eliana.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
if
so
you'll...
glad to be here.
Yeah, okay, cool. I will mute us now.
Okay.
And then share my screen. Okay. Enjoy, everybody. Let's try this. Here we go.
Welcome to Dinner with IsaBetaBug and 6 steps to dining on periodical cicadas.
Tonight's dinner has been in the making for almost 2 decades. How so, you may be asking yourself? Well, the star ingredient of tonight's plate can only be harvested once every 17 years.
Step 1 to dining on cicadas? Wait 17 years.
17-year periodical cicadas live underground and sip on the juices of tree roots for the majority of their lives. It isn't until the spring of their 17th year around the sun that they burrow up to the surface in preparation for their molt into adulthood. We can locate cicada populations by spotting their characteristic mud chimneys or holes on the surface of the forest floor. When the ground temperature reaches an average of 64 degrees Fahrenheit, under the cover of darkness, the nymphs begin their trek onto and up the tree trunks to metamorphose into their winged form.
Step 2. Harvest the cicadas.
The cicadas prepared for dinner today have been harvested at multiple life stages to highlight their unique flavors and textures. I collected some in their nymphal stage, and others following metamorphosis. Gravity helps the cicada make its exit and inflate its wings. Now, when it's still soft and hasn't yet hardened its exoskeleton, the cicada is ideal for harvest. At this stage, it is akin to a soft-shelled crab, best kept frozen in the refrigerator.
Step 3. Cicada cocktail and charcuterie board.
For this evening's starter, we have a cicada cocktail with cicadas cooked to perfection and ready to dip. Perched around the edge of the cocktail glass, you'll find that the cicadas offer a texture similar to that of crab, yet it's freshly available to those without access to the sea. Grapes, nuts, dried fruit, and aged cheese complement the mature cicadas.
Step 4. Smoked nymphs over 3 cheese grits.
For our main course, we have seasoned the cicadas in our house-made Cajun spice mix and smoked them for 35 minutes with crab apple tree wood. 3 local cheeses were swirled into the hot grits to add a punch of sophistication and creamy texture. I've garnished the dish with freshly cut chives and edible flowers.
Step 5. Chocolate-covered 10 rolls and exuvia cannoli.
To top off the meal, we've roasted adults and 10-roll cicadas to be delightfully crunchy. They are dipped in dark chocolate and sprinkled with pistachio. Shred exoskeletons or exuvia are loaded with sweet cannoli filling and topped with mini chocolate chips. This final part of our meal celebrates the cicadas that molted from these exuvia successfully, leaving the exoskeletons behind on the bark as they flew off to produce their own descendants, which will themselves emerge 17 years from now.
And with that, the meal is ready and it's time to eat. So, step 6, take a seat, enjoy the spread, and
Bon appetit! Oops. All right, so that's the video, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Wait, how do I? There we go.
Wow. That was gorgeous. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Where do I go? Send me over.
Yep. So
Just the artistry on that and the like little cinematic touches as well as your descriptions of what they taste like. Thought that was awesome.
yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Like in the chat, I'm seeing that you won David Lee over. I'm sure there are more. More people thinking what David thought.
yeah, it was really fun. Of course, the one thing that's tricky to portray over the video is how they tasted. Oh, I'm getting a note that you sound quiet, Eliana. Let's see if we can turn up your volume. Here, I'm turning it up actually in the studio.
The headphones.
All right, I also turned it up. And maybe I can turn myself down if I'm loud. Am I loud and she's quiet, or is it just that she's quiet? My
Or is
favorite.
this better?
It sounds loud
Go
to
ahead,
me.
Isa.
Great. Okay, cool. Oh, and while we're still fresh, thanks everyone for the awards. I will say that as well. And so there's a link for the video itself that I'm going to share to the program here. I'll push it for people not watching from HAPS. I'll push it to, it's up there in the corner of the screen. That's the YouTube link for this video. I don't think it's live yet. It'll go live in the next half an hour. And then I'm also putting it in the chat here. That is the link to the YouTube where this video will live. Your typing is very loud, Elena.
Sorry, I'll mute myself.
That's okay. Okay. So my favorite cicada dish was, I liked the cicada and grits the most. I liked it when they were smoked the most or roasted. The roasted cicadas are the best. I loved it covered in chocolate, of course, too. But also when it was roasted, it just tasted, I don't know, it was nice and crunchy and kind of tasted like a little maybe roasted nut-ish sort of flavor. I still want to do more experimentation too. I have a bunch in the fridge. The ones that were like the cicada cocktail appetizer, that was good and interesting in a different way, although I definitely prefer it to be roasted, and I like the crunchiness of it. The ones that were made for that ones that were boiled, they reminded me more of crab in the way that the like the meat was much more flaky, kind of like crab. And also, interestingly, they smelled like potatoes, but I feel like maybe that makes sense since both potatoes, I'll share this. Oops, since potatoes and also the cicadas grow underground. So they have a lot of similarities in that way. So maybe that's why the boiled one smelled a bit like potatoes in a good way. It smelled good to me. So no complaints. It just was a peculiar thing. Maybe the smell of potatoes comes from like the microorganisms on the potatoes from the soil. Not sure. It brought up a lot of questions for me.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like honey. You know how there's like clover honey and orange honey, and all different types.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I only ate cicadas from two different areas, or like really one area. So I didn't sample it from many different regions. So maybe next time that's an interesting thing to look into. So David's asking, what wine would you recommend with cicada? So clearly we had red wine with it for this occasion. I am a white wine person, and I'm guessing. Wait, I'm guessing. Oh, what do people eat with shrimp or other arthropods? I guess is my question. White. I think white is eaten with seafood, right? I'm not very well versed in this realm.
Any
So
wine aficionados in the crowd?
yes, I am open to suggestions.
Reveal yourselves.
Yes,
Oh,
white wine with
we got
shrimp.
an answer.
Thanks, Abel.
Says
So
Abel.
I will recommend that for the cicadas as well, even though we went the red wine route this time. So
Maybe if it's a meteor dish, a meteor cicada dish, it's red wine, according to the next comment.
yeah, yep. Um, yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thanks everyone for joining for their premiere. If you have any other questions about it, you can drop them now. Thanks, Ileana, for joining the premiere party.
It's so great to be here.
Yeah, it was fun. And I'll put the link for the YouTube in the chat. What bird is over there, Ileana? It's very loud.
I don't know, sorts of birds. There's Carolina wrens.
What's
I don't know
that
what that
one?
one is actually specifically.
It's not a red-tailed hawk, is it?
No, it's not. It could be a jay. It's probably a jay.
Oh, Jay. Okay, cool. It wants to eat some cicadas, clearly. I heard how delicious they are.
Yeah, I saw the preview.
Yep, totally. So yeah. Yeah, so in a couple of weeks, I'm going to bring on Hans, the videographer, and we'll share some behind the scenes footage of the making of the film. And so if you have questions, you can save them for then too. And also go ahead and share this with your friends and family. Ask them if they would join us at this table and take a bite to eat of these cicadas. And what was the other thing I wanted to say? Yeah, bug appetit. All right. Any surprise ideas while being in production? Well, one of the difficult things about making it was that when you're filming the food, it takes like a really, really long time to get from making it to actually eating it at the table. And so we did I think I made grits like 5 times, like 4 or 5 times throughout the production. I made that dish. I made grits for it like 5 times. And grits are not like the best dish to make when it's sitting around for so long too, because they kind of get gelled up over time. So I was trying to keep it fresh for the final showing as well. But yeah, that's one fun fact is that I made the grits like 4 to 5 times. So I was pretty sick of grits by the end of the filming. Yeah. Oh, Ileana, people on Twitch can't see typed comments, so you'll have to respond out loud. But
where should I respond through? I was just saying in the chat that I put out my phone to try and identify the bird that was calling. I thought it was a blue jay, but then it stopped making noise when I put out Merlin to listen to it. So I'll let you all know what I hear.
All right. Thanks.
It says mourning dove, but I think that was definitely a different bird. Mourning doves do not squawk.
All right. Thanks, Georgia. So Fuzzy Faced Dog, hello, is asking how much preparation cleaning-wise needs to be done to prepare them. It's definitely something to take into consideration is the environment that you're picking them up in, because you don't want to get them from a place where there's a lot of pesticides or other chemicals that might be in the ground or in the air. And when it came to collecting them, we mostly just washed them and then made sure we cooked them all the way through. And different people might have different preferences for that process. I mean, potatoes, as I was comparing them earlier, are another product we get from the ground. We wash them, but there's still oftentimes some dirt that's in the nooks and crannies of the potato, and I'm sure that was the case with these cicadas too. At least not with the ones that are emerged. So we did eat them in several different stages. So there's the adult, then there's on this dish you can see the tenerals, which are freshly emerged. So if you eat the adults or the freshly emerged cicadas, they are not going to have soil on them because they left that exoskeleton. So in a way, those ones are extremely clean, and you probably don't have to do much in the way of cleaning with those ones. And with prep, with the tenerals, they're completely soft throughout the whole thing. So you can eat the whole, all the body parts. But then for the adult, you might not want to eat the wings because they're just there's not much to them. They'll get stuck in your teeth. Same with the legs of the adults. You might not want to eat them too. But it's also a personal preference. It's kind of like when you eat crabs, where you can set it up where you're just boiling them and serving them, and then the people who are eating them at the table, they're the ones who take off the wings or take off the legs or whatever they don't want to eat. Or you can do it the way that my family actually does crabs, where we completely clean the whole crab. You take off the legs, you open it up, you wash it all out, and then it's pretty much all ready to go. Not much for the person sitting down at the table to clean up and do. So yeah.
Do you have to take out the dental floss after eating and dining?
Oh,
For the legs?
I didn't have that problem in this case.
David says use the legs as floss to remove the wings from your
teeth. Yeah. Where's that one? That comment? Oh, there it is. I have to share that one on the screen. Perfect. All set up really well. Yeah. So so I shared that link on YouTube. I'll share the link to the Why Insects presentation because David Howden's saying that it pairs with the video pretty well. So I appreciate that comment, that feedback. And then I'll also include a link on the YouTube to my my article with the Academy of Natural Sciences about why eating them is like celebrating them in a very appropriate way to celebrate their emergence. So yeah, it was pretty fun production. It was sad when it was over, but I'm happy that it happened.
Encore.
And really cool to work on, and looking forward to hopping on the Bug Scope in the future to talk more about it with Hans, the videographer. I do want to say too that little advertisement, Bug Scope advertisement, that on Tuesday I have 2 entomology special guests. This is unrelated to the film now. I have 2 guests joining Dr. Steve Mason, newly minted Dr. Stephen Mason, who some of you guys who have been with me watching the Bug Scope for years now, you might recognize him because he's joined us multiple times in the past before he was a doctor. And also Vaughn Shirey will be joining us as well. They both just published a paper on insects and fire. And so we will talk with them about that. All right. Woo! Oh, the YouTube video is live now. Awesome. All right, I'll share the link for that in the chat one more time. Looking forward to the sequel in 17 years. That's right. Yeah, one thing about the film is that I know that you don't see like us eating a lot of them at that time. We did eat some. But also we were like really full from all the production as well. And but we did eat them. It just didn't really make sense to put into the film because it's also hard to like show people eating, if that makes sense.
No one wants to be photographed when they're eating.
Yeah. And initially we had the idea of having like my housemates and and Rahman and Hans's wife, like all joining us. And at the end, like everyone, like you see all these hands, like a big feast, reaching in and eating things. But the timing didn't work out well for that because at that point we just had to finish the film. And also people were, scattered. So.
You say you have to broadcast David's recent comment.
Which one? Oh, yeah. I have to share that one too. Present on screen.
It's hilarious. He says, I'm looking forward to the sequel in 17 years.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Like a comment. It only comes every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Come back and visit the ancestors, the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the ones who made it.
Yep, the ones who got away. A lot of them. It's a really fun experience to go see the emergence of the periodical cicadas because you feel like you've entered this big cicada party. There's just bugs, little cute innocent or just harmless insects just everywhere. It's totally an entomologist's dream situation to just be in an area filled with insects that are just doing their thing and singing. And it was very sad when they started to die off as their time here on Earth expired, and to see them littered on the ground. But their eggs were up in the tree, safe. Babies fall from those eggs down to the soil, burrow down, find some yummy, tasty roots to tap into, and start their journey, their 17-year journey, where they're underground, developing year to year. And so, yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. I guess we'll wrap it up now. Once again, if you want to go check out the video again, share it with your friends. You can either share this broadcast with them, or you can go to the YouTube page link for the video, which is live. So enjoy. Thanks for joining the premiere. Wonderful watching it with all of you. And yeah, take care.
Thanks, Isa. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining.
Share with your friends the glory of cicadas.
Yep.